grab some shipping charge data as well. And maybe, where is it here? Okay, so, and date ordered, that's exactly what I was after. Okay, so I've got a couple of different fields here that I want to see on my report. What I'm looking here is a sample set of my data, not the full set. If I want to toggle between my full set of data, I can just click on an icon up here, and this will now produce the report, the designed report, viewing my full set of data that I want to look at. Typically, if you're using very large sets of data, I just want to look at a sample data set to quickly build my report. What I can actually do here is, let me just hide my filters for a moment. I might want to add a couple of bits and pieces to my format. So I want to change my data format, and I might want to add a total on. So I can add a summary here. I might want to get a count. So I can also add a summary there on that particular date ordered column, for example. Might add a title here. Shipping charge report. And finally, I might want to change the look and feel a little bit. So I can click on here and change a style. We might want to look at, say, the olive style. It's quite nice here. So now I've got a basis of quite a nice report. The other thing I can do is add a filter if I want. So I can click on a column and say create filter. And what this is actually doing over here on the right-hand side is adding a filter onto my report. So now I can actually filter my report by country. I could have a date ordered filter on there, etc. Any number of filters of the fields that have actually got presented on my report. Finally, I can save this report. So let's just save this report. Because I want to actually make this report available not only to myself in the future, but to other members of my team. And let's save this in the reports folder. Okay, yes, I've already got one there from yesterday. I'm saving my report. My save has been successful. So once I've built my report, that is essentially available to me to use in any way I want inside Jasper Server. So I go to my reports, and I can just type in shipping. And I've got my shipping charge report here. I can click on that. That will then open up the report in the viewer that a normal person would sort of look at, with all their export functionality and with the filters that I've set on that particular report. So very straightforward, very easy for an end user, for a manager, for whoever, to actually construct a very simple report to be able to effectively deliver information. So taking that to the next step is looking at building a dashboard. So the source data we use for building that style of report is those topics I was describing earlier, so predefined data sets. What we use as data sources for a dashboard are those reports that I've built, or parts of a report that I've constructed that I can then drag onto a dashboard and use for presentation. So I can come in here and go create dashboard. Again, I get a palette on the right-hand side and my available content here on the left. So just coming down to some of my content here. So I might want to drag on my top 5 customer information. Hide those scroll bars. Drag on some revenue by month here. And in this particular report has a chart and numbers. I'm not interested in the numbers, I just want to see the chart, so I will just size that so all I'm seeing is the chart. And let's just, again, I don't want any scrolling. And then finally, let's whack a gauge on. Gauges always look nice. So throw that onto the report. Oops, a bit hard without a proper mouse here. And Okay, so I've got the data sets I want to use on my dashboard. So now I just want to add a title. My first dashboard. And off I go. Preview my dashboard. And the same thing as that report I just did a minute ago. I could save this, apologies for the resolution. It fits nicely on my screen, but not on the projector. So I can have a dashboard with all the data that I want on that, and save that back in the repository. And any hyperlinks I've got in these reports, anything that I want to drill down to, comes through onto the dashboard. So I've only built those constructs once, and they're available to me on the dashboard here. My San Francisco revenue is looking a bit low. I may have to talk to my sales manager, Brian, about that. And, yeah, so it's great. So immediately that's available to me. Okay. The final thing I'd like to touch on in terms of the new environment of Jaspersoft 4 is its capability to link in, again, across to multiple data sources. For me personally, this is one of the things that excite me generally about Jaspersoft, is its capability to lay across a whole disparate range of data sources. What we've been doing so far is historical data. We've been looking at data that are coming from our source systems. Also, another important repository of information is plans, forecasts, forward-looking information that, for example, my forecast team, my finance team, or my operational team might be putting together for me. So what we're going to do is jump over into another system, and what I'm showing you, what we're looking at here today is Parlo. It's a planning and forecasting tool. It has an add-in for Excel. And this formula, this is an Excel we're looking at. It is Excel, but there are formulas which are going back to the underlying database. This is my data entry environment for my planning system. So what I'm doing is that I've got a report here. I'm also using iReport to publish my planning map. So just have a first look at it, what the actual map looks like in Jasper reports here. So I've got a map of Europe, and what these colour coordinates represent are my different forecasts for the different regions in Europe. And I've got a matrix, a KPI here, which is driving these colours, low, medium, or good. And I'm looking at my Spain numbers, which are really in the red, and they should not be in the red. I know I've got high revenue being generated this quarter in Spain. So I'm going to come into that manager's report and get him to adjust his numbers. So we're going to change the number there. And let's have another look at it in that report. And that geospatial map. Okay, it's starting to look a little bit better. The numbers have turned to yellow. I think it can look better than that. I can come across here. Change that again. And let's just see again what that's going to look like in Jasper. Fantastic. Now we've got green numbers in Spain. That's what I would expect. So what this is really demonstrating is that power. Jaspersoft is picking up this data in real time using an XMLA connector back into my planning system and displaying that information in real time. So my managers could be changing those forecasts wherever they are, and on my dashboard or on my report, I'm seeing the colours change or those numbers change inside Jasper. Excellent. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. David Upton's going to come up now to show you a little bit more on the next step. So again, we've covered off that dashboard and reporting, a little bit around reporting over budgeting and forecasting, and I'm going to hand over to David now to check out the time trial. Thank you.